All right, everybody, we're talking to Trish. She's an insider, obviously, over here at Pam Golding in the real estate market here in South Africa. She knows everything. So, what was you saying?
Okay, so I was just saying.
Say hi, Trish.
Hi, everybody. So what generally our buyers have been Black South Africans or South Africans of color, to put it better.
Why is that now? Why is that?
So now a lot more Black South Africans have access to better incomes. People are getting jobs, and now they can afford to buy property.
So things are getting better.
People
are coming up.
So there's a lot of interest. Not only to buy primary residences. A lot of our Africans, Black South Africans have lived in the townships.
Yeah.
And now that they're working, they're getting access to money. They're now moving. Some of them are moving out of the townships to find accommodation in the city because the jobs are in the city.
Yeah.
So now they can actually buy instead of just only rent, which is really exciting. So now you're finding that what I aim to do is to bring more awareness to the brand to our African markets in South Africa. So that Black people can see this as the brand that they want to interact with in terms of buying property for themselves or investing in property. That would be all our developments. I mean, we have a whole lot of developments right now out there, which is beautiful new multifaceted units, complexes that have commercial element, retail elements, and the residential element as well.
So everything.
Everything in one place.
So do you do realize that your market is actually going to be looking at this this conversation, and then they're going to want to contact you to talk about purchasing homes and things along that line. So what else could you tell them, the market that you're looking for right now? What would you tell them, to contact you, or what do they need to do to get their affairs in order so they can move from one location to the next?
First of all, I would say that Pam Golding as a brand is the best brand in South Africa to look to in terms of starting your property journey. Whether you're buying your property or renting a property, it is the best brand. We're available, on all the different online networks, social media, and everything. And we do have a widespread of the different types of properties. So we have a whole lot of agents that are working in development specifically, and that's new development. So for those that are looking for the modern, sleek apartment blocks with a gym in the apartment block with the restaurant and all those amenities, those would be the new developments.
Okay.
And for those that are looking, those that have families that are looking for freehold or cluster units, there's a whole lot of beautiful cluster units in areas like Bryanston, for instance. Beautiful cluster units that are in an estate. So you have your little cluster unit, but you also have access to the more common areas.
Okay.
And that's close enough to Sandton and the central city as well. And of course, if you want to go a little bit further out of the city, then you would be in Fourways. There's a lovely estate they call Dainfern. Yes, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a large estate, but then they stay in city as well. So there's just so much that people can choose from. Stay in city actually has one of the largest parklands in terms of estates in Johannesburg.
It's all equestrian.
Yes, it's wonderful. And they now have a school, and they're going to have a little shopping mall in there as well, and a hospital. I mean, their plans are really to expand. And most of these estates also have retirement aspects to them as well.
Okay.
And then for those that like the farm life or the farm-like life, I think there's estates just outside of Stain City, Blair Athol, and Monaghan, I think it's called.
Okay.
So, I mean, from the city centre where I am in Sandton Central, going, Sandton Central would be high-end apartment blocks.
Sure.
Real city living in Sandton Central. And then you go out, if you're looking for a freestanding home, then you would look around Craig Hall Park, just outside Sandton, and then you would go into Bryanston, where you would find the really nice clusters. And then, so the city is growing that way, and there's every type of property.
So, but this initiative is not just here in Gauteng.
Yes.
It's around the whole entire country, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, so reaching out to you, if you were like saying, okay, I want to do something in Northwest, you can find someone within the company, and to be able to facilitate that for you.
Yeah. So Pam Golding has over 300 offices.
Okay.
And we also have offices in the Seychelles. We have offices in some countries in Africa as well. And we have an affiliation with Savills overseas. So between those 300 offices and over 2,500 agents, we can refer you anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere. We're in Swaziland, we're in Botswana, Namibia.
So this is exciting because I can see one of our viewers who's 22, 23 years old, got the nice job, doing well for themselves. So what price point do you think it starts at for what you're talking about? What price point?
So if you're looking at like a sectional title, which is an apartment, you could get something really nice for 700,000. And that, 700,000, that would be one bedroom. You could actually get a 2-bedroom, but I mean, that's a smaller unit in terms of square meterage. But for 700,000, you can get a really nice apartment in Ferndale, in Randburg, which is 5 minutes drive from here. Yes. And then, of course, from 700,000 going upwards, you can get something for 20 million.
Yeah. So, but that's good. And also, too, I would assume that a lot of these things would apply for those people who would be called expats, so people who coming from the U.S., UK that are coming here. There's a lot of opportunities to buy the same properties. Am I correct?
Yes. We do actually at Pam Golding work with foreign buyers wanting to buy property in South Africa, and of course you work through the Reserve Bank because money coming into the country.
Yeah, it has to be vetted.
Yes. Yeah. But we've worked a lot with the foreign buyers coming to buy property here, and not just in South Africa, in Africa as a whole. I think right now is one of the best times to buy property in South Africa because we have a whole lot of stock. There's property that's been, we've gone through COVID, but the properties that were on the market are still on the market.
Okay.
And so this is a nice opportunity to expand and look at something in the area.
So as we used to say when Barack Obama became president, change is coming. It's here. Change is coming.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we have right now in reference to what Trish has. But like I said, you can always reach out to us at info@therealsouthafrica.com, and obviously her details will be at the bottom of here. So if you're a young South African or even a middle-aged South African, I don't know, and you're looking at trying to get a property in some of the locations that she talked about or ones that she didn't talk about, reach out to her via email, and at that point you can go ahead and purchase your house, or at least start having the conversation. I'm sure that she would be more than happy to assist you because she's all about that Pam Golding. So I will chat with you later. Hello again, everybody. This is Mark Blanton from The Real South Africa. Again, we brought in somebody else from Pam Golding who can give us some insight on the Joburg market and possibly some other markets here in South Africa. Again, we don't know everything, so we come here so we can talk to the experts. And right now, I'm sitting here with Richard Smith. He's one of the big bosses here in Pam Golding. So I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Richard Smith. I'm one of the managers in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg. The areas I'm responsible for are the offices in Melrose Arch, Hyde Park, Fourways, and Midrand, which comprises a huge geographical area of Johannesburg.
Okay. Now, if you notice, he mentioned a lot of areas that you probably saying, well, is that Joburg or not? Actually, those are areas, suburbs in Johannesburg and whatnot. So one of the questions I'm going to ask is, because I know some of us are looking at purchasing property, and so we're going to talk about price points. Now, keep in mind, at certain price points, whatever price point that I mentioned, just remember to divide that by roughly 17, and that's the dollar amount for the U.S. And then at the same time, we're also going to talk about certain subdivisions within Johannesburg. And keep in mind, there are several subdivisions. You can't cover them all, but Richard's going to highlight certain ones. So, Rich, now, if somebody comes to you and they're looking at a price point of 2 million rand, regardless if it's a townhouse or a regular home.
Okay, so to go back to what you're saying, probably the lowest price point that we've got is for student accommodation near the University of the Witwatersrand and the University of Johannesburg.
Okay.
That is probably the lowest point, which would be a small, probably bachelor apartment, which could be as low as 460,000 rand.
Okay.
Probably go up to 750,000, but it's very much encapsulated in the area around the universities.
Okay.
When you start going north in Johannesburg, which is certainly a large area geographically, you talk about 2 million rand.
Mm-hmm.
From that, you could get a very nice apartment.
Okay.
Not necessarily with a garden. There could be some where they have a small postage stamp garden, but it's generally an apartment in a bigger complex with 2 bedrooms, probably 1 bathroom, on occasion 2 bathrooms, a living area and a balcony.
Okay.
And the further out you go towards the Fourways office and that environs and Midrand, you could probably get a bigger apartment for that sort of value. The closer you are towards the Hyde Park area, so the apartment gets smaller. But you're certainly spoiled for choice if you don't have a problem traveling.
Okay. Now, the Hyde Park area, could you give us an idea about the amenities in the area?
The amenities?
Yes.
Well, we've obviously got a lot of shopping centres. We have a lot of schools, both state schools and private schools.
Okay.
It's close to the universities, as I said to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's within half an hour of the OR Tambo Airport, and from the Fourways office it would be close to Lanseria when flights are normal and people can commute again.
Absolutely.
And quite easy to get on and off the freeways, so you can get to Pretoria or wherever else you're looking to go. And it's a very cosmopolitan area that we service.
Okay.
All these different types of properties.
Okay. So now let's say here we are, we're a little bit more affluent. We have 3 million rand, 3 to 4 million rand. What would you suggest?
So 3 or 4 million rand would buy you certainly a freehold home where you get the title for a house with a garden.
Okay.
You could, depending on the suburb, it might be a slightly older home, and you would probably be looking in South African terms around meters. You'd probably be looking at something from 600 square meters property, probably up until about 1100 square meters.
Okay.
Small garden, house, traditional, maybe 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, garden, living area, and possibly a garage and so on. Or you could ramp it up to a higher end apartment.
Okay.
And you could also look possibly at a cluster, which is really a different version of an apartment, but you own it on a freehold basis rather than an apartment, which is sectional title. So that is the difference. But if you looked around all the areas that we're servicing, you really could be spoiled for choice. As long as it's an area that you want and suits you and close to your workplace, if you still go to the office, all those sort of things.
Okay. Now, what are some of the up and coming areas that you know about in Johannesburg that are maybe new? People are showing interest in. What are those areas? What are the names of those areas?
Look, I think probably Johannesburg is a big city.
Yes.
Johannesburg has sort of crept north over the years. I remember when I was much younger and you went to Pretoria, you saw just grass and farmland between the northern suburbs of Johannesburg until you got to Pretoria. Right now, the cities have joined each other.
Okay.
So one of the big things where there is huge development is the waterfall area, which is in the Midrand area of our business.
Mm-hmm.
They've created lots of estates, from either regular houses to an equestrian estate where it's big pieces of ground, huge houses, very lavish houses, to retirement villages. They've got industry that's moved there. A couple of accounting firms have moved there. Some corporates have moved there. Huge shopping centres, easy to get onto the highway, and then a good commute from there into Johannesburg, Sandton, or Pretoria. That is probably one of the biggest things that we've seen develop in the last few years.
Okay. Now, you did say equestrian estate.
Yes.
Many of our viewers don't know what an equestrian estate is. It's probably by definition very, very simple. But can you kind of take us through what an equestrian estate is?
So it's a big piece of ground. So you'd be buying a property that probably was 2 acres and a lot of natural bush. You can create the garden that you want, but people have horses on there, on their properties, because there's a lot of veld that they can go riding in. It's quite a horsey community out there. Traditionally it was. There are stables nearby, and that is why it is an equestrian estate. Not everyone has horses, but some people do.
Exactly. And I've been to one, and they're very impressive. Even if you don't ride horses, just being in those environments just make you say, "Wow, this is absolutely incredible." Mm-hmm. So you would say, from a real estate perspective, you can pretty much find anything that you're looking for within the boundaries of Johannesburg, and even in the suburbs of Johannesburg.
Absolutely. You can go literally from university apartment for your children to a 150 million rand home in Sandhurst, which is large and incredible and amazingly built with top of the range finishes, to an ordinary family home for 4 million rand. And all these suburbs have pockets of really expensive homes.
Yes.
But there's always something to match your pocket.
Yes.
That is available for you to choose and put your roots down with.
Excellent. So one last question I have, and you may or may not have the answer, in reference to taxes or levies on homes. Could you shed some light on taxes or levies?
Yeah. So we are all sort of fall into different municipalities.
Mm-hmm.
This basic cost structure is that you pay a monthly amount based on the rateable value of your property. Okay. Every 5 years, the municipality values all the properties that they have linked to their system, which is everyone, and they will apply a value, and then it's a percentage of the rateable value.
Okay.
So you have rates. You then have, again, depending which suburbs you live in, there's an electricity cost, which you get charged for your actual consumption. Some people in their homes have chosen to either go off-grid, where they would do it with solar and remove the cost from the municipality, or they get their electricity from Eskom, which is a separate account, but the same idea. And then you also have a water tariff that you pay for, which is based on your monthly consumption of water. And then there's a small charge around sewage. So those effectively are the 4 components that make up your monthly municipal rates bill.
Okay. And actually, we fall into that category where we live. And overall, it's very reasonable. All of it just comes in one big bill, or one bill, and then of course you just pay it monthly. I think also is your like I said, your sewage, which is your trash pickup, things along that line. So okay, well, all I can say is thank you for shedding some lights, because there's a lot of people out there who have no idea about South Africa and how it works. And like I said, you added a lot of value to the program. So I appreciate it. And
Well, thank you. It's been lovely talking to you. And Johannesburg is an amazing city with a lot of diversity and some really interesting property that we'd love to share with people.
Come on, y'all, come get it.
Absolutely.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. Thanks for following us here at Pam Golden Realty. Like I said, one of the largest real estate companies here in South Africa. Enjoy the information that we're giving you. And if you got any questions, please reach out to us and we can make sure that your transition or your time here in South Africa is perfect. And in the meanwhile, take care.
Thank you so much for spending time with us today. If you like what you saw, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notifications button so you don't miss out on all things The Real South Africa. Thanks again.